All right, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Gregory Spears, and I am the principal of the Friendship Blow Pierce, and I'd like to welcome everyone here today to our incredible campus, located proudly, as we say, on the sunny side of Ward 7. We are honored to have some special guests with us today to kick off the DC Fall Leaf Collection Program. The Mayor of Washington, D.C., Mayor Muriel Bowser, is with us this afternoon, which I hope will be her first of many visits to 725 19th Street Northeast to see the amazing things happening at the best school in the city. We also have members from the District of Columbia Office of the State Superintendent of Education, the Department of Public Works, the Department of Parks and Recreation with us today, and of course, we'd also like to welcome our founder, Mr. Donald Hentz, our CEO, Ms. Patricia Brantley, and our Chief Academic Officer, Ms. Vielka Scott Marcus, as well as other community office members to this exciting event. Here at Blow Pierce, we are an all-in family where we work hard and we get results. So let's take this opportunity today to enjoy the event, have some fun, and get into the fall spirit. At this time, I would like to introduce our next speaker, who we are ecstatic to have join us here today, our Honorable Mayor, Muriel Bowser.
Thank you. Well, good afternoon, everybody, and hello, boys and girls. It is wonderful to see you and wonderful to be at your beautiful school. And I want to thank you, Principal Spears, for hosting us today. It is always good to see the friendship team. My good old friend Donald Hentz, Patricia Brantley, and Miss Scott Marcus. I want to thank you all. Give them a big round of applause. I want to thank you for having us here, for being here in person. I want to thank the families and teachers and boys and girls who have really been resilient over the past 20 months. I don't want to talk long because we have some interesting things to mention, and you're going to hear from some members of my team in just a second, Dr. Christina Grant and Director Christine Davis, and I also want to acknowledge Tommy Wells, who is here, who is the Director of the Department of the Environment. So give them a big round of applause. And you are going to see these big orange trucks and really nice people from the Department of Public Works in your neighborhood soon, right? And I know the boys and girls like to see the big trucks coming through. And they're coming through because it's a special time of the year. It is leaf season. So beginning Monday, believe it or not, Monday is November the 1st. Beginning Monday, this is a reminder, leaf season begins in Washington, D.C. So D.C. residents, look out for your time to rake your leaves out into the tree box so that our teams from DPW can come by and take care of it. We also want to remind you now that pumpkin season is in full effect, but soon will be winding down, that we have a composting program. And we're very serious about food waste and how we can divert food waste from the regular trash. That's good, right, DPW? We want to divert food waste. And there will be opportunities for you to take your pumpkins to be composted. So girls and boys, will you help me remind your folks at home that we can compost our pumpkins instead of putting them in the trash? Who's going to do that with me? Yay! And so I want to invite Director Christine Davis to come up and talk a little bit more about these important programs, leaf season and pumpkin composting. Thank you, Director Davis.
Good morning. Good morning, Mayor Bowser, Principal Spears, faculty, and boys and girls. I'm Christine Davis. I'm the Acting Director for the D.C. Department of Public Works. We all know it as DPW. I heard about your fall harvest event yesterday. Did you all have fun? All right. Fall is such a beautiful season with all of the leaves changing from green to a brilliant orange and bright red. When those leaves fall to the ground, it's DPW's job to collect them off of the streets so you don't create a slippery hazard for cars or clog our storm sewers, which can cause rain to flood our streets. The DPW vehicles behind me are examples of the equipment that we use to vacuum leaves off the street. DPW's leaf season begins next Monday, November 1st, and runs until January 15th, 2022. By now, most residents have seen ads in their local papers or received their new leaf season brochure highlighting the leaf collection dates scheduled for their neighborhood. Preparing for your neighborhood's leaf collection is simple. Just rake your leaves to the curb or into the tree box in front of your residence. That's it. Rake it to the curb and DPW will do the rest. Has anyone here ever raked leaves? It's fun, isn't it? Collecting residents' leaves on schedule is important to us, but please remember that the schedule could be impacted by weather. When snow or freezing rain or ice is forecasted, our snow team has to use the same equipment that we use for leaf season. So we have to switch to snow, then switch back to leaf to collect your leaves. For missed leaf collections, residents, please call 311 or visit 311.dc.gov to open a leaf season collection service request. District residents can also bring bagged leaves to the Fort Totten Trash Transfer Station located at 4900 Bates Road Northeast, Monday through Friday from 10 to 2 and on Saturdays from 7 to 2. Now, I see all of these little pumpkins left over from your Harvest Festival, and some of you may have pumpkins at home. With Halloween coming up, some people will be turning their pumpkins into jack-o'-lanterns. Is anyone planning to do that? We have with us today DPW's composting partner, Jeremy Borowski, who's from Compost Cab. He's over there in the corner. He's got some examples of jack-o'-lanterns that he's carved, and he's able to tell you how to turn your pumpkin into a jack-o'-lantern, a zero-waste jack-o'-lantern, meaning that you're going to compost all the materials inside of the pumpkin. He'll be available for demonstrations after the presentation today. So as part of DPW's efforts to combat hunger and reduce food waste, we encourage all residents to utilize one of 9 food waste drop-off sites located at selected farmers markets in most wards to bring your decorative pumpkins and your gourds once you're done with them. When residents drop off pumpkins and other food waste, it gets composted and used as fertilizer to help grow plants for food. As Mayor Bowser said earlier, residents can find the list of districts' food waste drop-off sites by visiting dpw.dc.gov food waste drop-off. Now I'll welcome Mayor Bowser back.
Thank you,
Christine.
Thank you for that, and we can't wait to talk about pumpkin painting and jack-o'-lantern making. But before we get there, I also have a special announcement to make that's actually a big surprise. And we're here at Blow Pierce to talk about one of your very special teachers. And you have a lot of special teachers, don't you? Let's hear it for our teachers, boys and girls. And I think, is Miss Foster here? Miss Foster is one of our very special teachers here at Blow Pierce. And we have a big surprise for you too, Miss Foster, because Miss Foster, you have been named Washington, D.C. 2022 Teacher of the Year. Is she surprised? So, Superintendent Grant, if you would join me up here, because we have some special things to say about Miss Foster as she gets her big check. I think she's surprised. Let's hear it for Miss Foster. Miss Foster is a pre-K 4 teacher here at Friendship Blow Pierce, where she has taught for 6 of her 13 years as an educator here in D.C. And we've heard from the principal about how remarkable Miss Foster is as a teacher. In fact, he's described her as a shining beacon of educational excellence, and that she instills a love of learning in her students at an early age. We're now on our third school year in a row that's been impacted by this pandemic, and we know how much our educators have done to make sure that students and families have been engaged and inspired while they were away, and loved and challenged and inspired now that they're back home. We know that Ms. Foster also stepped up in her school community as the school, on the school reopening committee, and played an integral role in Friendship's reopening, and she continues ensuring that her community has what it needs to learn and heal. So I want to thank Ms. Foster for the incredible impact that she has had on Friendship, her students, and the entire community. So with that, I want to ask Dr. Grant on OSSE's behalf to talk about what it means to be the Teacher of the Year.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Good morning. This is, congratulations. This is a dream. Any of you who've ever been a teacher, it's the professional Olympics to be named Teacher of the Year. Thank you, Mayor Bowser. Thank you to the Friendship Public Charter Schools for hosting us today, specifically this campus, letting us celebrate with your little ones, for everything you do every single day on behalf of our children. Thank you. And Ms. Foster, again, congratulations. I am Christina Grant. I have the great pleasure of serving as the acting state superintendent of the Office of the State Superintendent of Education. We have the great joy of selecting DC's Teacher of the Year, and it is really, really exciting that we get to honor excellent teachers like yourself who each and every day have made the difference for our children. I want to take a quick second to tell you a couple of things that we've learned about Ms. Foster. There are hundreds of thousands of applications for the Teacher of the Year acknowledgement, and again, you beat out everyone. The decision is never easy. We are fortunate to have excellent educators all across the city. Our schools are open every single day this week, and individuals like you really held down teaching and learning throughout the pandemic and today. This is a prestigious honor. I've been told that you are a creative, talented, inspirational, informative, and dynamic pre-K 4 teacher. Everyone here knows how great you are, and I want you to know that the entire District of Columbia believes in your love and service to our children. You were on the front lines to make sure that our children learned both in person and virtually, bringing politics and passion into the classroom for our littlest learners. You have met and exceeded our expectations for high standards for early childhood educators, and you found creative ways to make sure that families were prepared when school doors closed to make sure that their children were educated. Throughout your various committees of service at Friendship, you have made sure that you have transformed the school community and all of the lives that you serve. I am truly, truly grateful for everything you've done for our students. With all of that, can we acknowledge your great leadership once again? And we'd love for you to share a couple of remarks with all of us today. That's right, Ms. Foster, come on up to the podium. Yeah. Come on. Congratulations, love.
Thank you, guys. Oh, I'm so excited. You got my daughter here. So it's Ticky Tacky Day at her school for Spirit Week. That's why she has two different shoes on. Oh, my goodness. Thank you so much. Champions. Woo! They're so excited. Thank you, thank you, thank you. First and foremost, thank you, Mr. Spears. Mr. Spears has been rocking with me since I walked through these doors. I've always been the student who took a little bit longer to get things done, and he would come with his son after he woke up from nap and let me in on the weekends. So I really, really appreciate everything, all of your support, and he has really just helped me blossom as a teacher. He has given me the space to be creative. He's trusted me, and I appreciate everything that you do for this entire building. We love you. Thank you, Mr. Hentz. Mr. Hentz, I've been trying to get you in this classroom. I haven't asked you. It's not that I've asked him, but I've always wanted you to just stop through and see our children. So anytime you're free, please come in and join us. Pat, we love you. Pat is the coldest. Pat is cold. She is amazing. She's an awesome leader. She has done phenomenal during this pandemic, leading Friendship. We have continued to move forward. Our children are continuing to excel thanks to our leadership. Vilka as well. We appreciate you. We love y'all. Thank you guys. I love Friendship. I love Blow. I'm not leaving. I have no plans. This has always been home for me. The resources that you all provide is really why our children excel in the way in which they do. Miss Chase, you're amazing. One of my friends just said, because I always say, oh, my former assistant, oh, and this former assistant. They're like, you have so many former assistants. I'm like, because once they're with me, they're stuck with me forever. So we're all family. I appreciate you and everything that you do, and everyone else who I've ever worked with in the classroom. I love y'all. I love my friends. Thank you. I don't know how y'all found out, but I love you. And my daughter, she's my A1. So thank you guys so much. Mayor Bowser, thank you. I love y'all. I love DC. All right? Thank you.
Thank you. Yep. So while the rest of the United States is coming along with us, we do pre-K in Washington, D.C., don't we? We do pre-K 3, pre-K 4, and we have outstanding teachers that are helping our kids be ready for K through 12 and laying that foundation. And I'm just really honored. I'm honored to be here with you, teacher and principal, and all of and everybody here. So I think I'm gonna take a couple of questions, and I think you guys we're gonna have some fun in a second with the boys and girls. All right. So I'll start with members of the press, and if there are any community questions, I'll take them. Yes, Sam.
Yes, Mayor. I understand that the city is facing the possibility of moderate flooding.
Yes.
And I would just, what are we doing? What is the city doing?
Yes. So you are right. Evidently, there's been a big storm that's moved around us that can cause some flooding beginning tomorrow. Director Chris Rodriguez from the Department of Homeland Security will be making some briefings throughout the day. We've already been in touch with some of our partners who are in the most affected low-lying areas, the bids that are prepared for flooding and have had flooding in the past, and they are going to be enacting their plans. But Director Rodriguez will get some more public information out. But tomorrow, I think, is when we're most concerned about. Yes, sir.
David Kaplan with Fox 5. Just curious if you've been following the developments with the Washington football team. If you have any comment on sort of what's been reported so far, if you think this report should be made public, and if you have any thoughts on whether or not the team should move to D.C. as it is, given some of your previous remarks about possibly the RFK site. Just kind of curious how you're evaluating this whole situation.
Well, I can't say I've been following it that closely, other than to say that the NFL is an important institution, and the eyes of the world and perhaps the Congress will be on it. So just I hope that they do the right things. I can't really speak specifically to that. But that issue is we want our national football team in Washington. So I don't think that it's necessarily a separate issue. So I would have to continue to follow how it proceeds. Yep. Any other? I'll get to press. Yes.
of religious exemptions have been pretty much denied since the mandates have been initiated?
Sure. So there are protocols, and our intention as a government is to adhere very closely to those protocols and all of everything that's been upheld in the courts. Did you want to follow up? Does that answer your question?
Yeah, but just in regards to that, so, with the religious exemption in place,
Yep.
is that to say that, what does that say for people who have a sincere,
Well, that's what they will have to demonstrate, and what the standards that the court have already that have been upheld in the courts about a sincere religious belief. Keep in mind that when people make that claim, that claim is kind of undercut if they've already been getting vaccinated for other requirements. Yes, Mark, and then I'll get to our young ladies here. Yes.
Back to leaf collection. I know the ban does not go into effect until next year on gas blowers, but can you update us where the district is as far as the use of gas leaf blowers and just how we're going to phase into that next year, that ban?
Can you talk to that, Christine? Okay.
Thank you for your question. DPW is ahead of the requirement. We are beginning this leaf season using electric-powered, battery-powered leaf blowers. So when we're out on the street, that's what you will see our staff using to blow leaves.
My question is
Thank
also...
you, Director. I didn't know the answer to that one, but I think it's awesome. Yes.
Sorry. My question is also about the fall operations. I know in some of the jurisdictions around the DMV, they will fine people if they're not, putting the leaves in the place they're supposed to or cleaning them up. Does the district have any kind of program like that?
I don't think that's certainly not how we approach our leaf season. We actually see this as a bonus service, because probably in those jurisdictions, their DPWs don't go around and remove leaves for free. We do. And we also have our transfer station at Fort Totten available for people who bag their leaves. We do want people to follow the rules to make it easy for our teams, because if everybody on every block is doing something different, that's just going to slow down the collection process and get the teams off of their schedule. So please pay attention to the directions from the LEAF team. So, Director, could you just tell people again exactly how they can prepare their leaves for pickup?
The best way to prepare your leaves for pickup is to rake them into the tree box, loose leaves into the tree box or at the curb. DPW crews will then come and vacuum the leaves during your scheduled week of collection. If you choose to bag your leaves, you can personally take them to the transfer station, or you can schedule a pickup and we will pick up your bagged leaves and they will all be composted.
Yes, Sam.
Quick question. Madam Director, you said it starts in November and goes to, I think, January. But there was a crew in front of my house today. I mean, what's different? I mean, because they're out there already collecting leaves.
They're training today. We begin officially the leaf season on Monday, but we have crews training today.
I know that flooding was mentioned earlier today. When you look at, people maybe not thinking that leaves and how the fall foliage might have an impact to that, could you guys talk about how that could add to water kind of getting...
Well, it's always important to keep your own drains clear on your property and keep a lookout for the drains on your street. So try to avoid raking your leaves to cover the drain. Good question. Okay, I had some questions from members of the public.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Aaliyah Bikulei. I'm an 8th grader here at Friendship Blue Piers. Knowing the D.C. public school system is ranked 49 out of the 50 states within the country, how do you plan on improving the educational system to help support our black and brown students?
Well, actually, DC Public Schools and all of our public schools, including our public charter schools, are considered the fastest improving urban school district anywhere in the country. So we should be very proud of the progress that we are making here in Washington. We should also be proud, just as I mentioned, that unlike many school districts in the country, children can go to DC schools beginning at pre-K 3 at 3 years old and 4 years old. So by the time they get to the kindergarten, they are prepared to learn. Our children can also, unlike many places, they ride free to school. They have safe passage programs to school, and we support a lot of programs that are meant to help our kids return from learning virtually. So let me emphasize one that all of the experts say is the way that we can close gaps, whether they're from the pandemic or whether there were pre-existing gaps. And I hope we're going to implement all of those tools right here at your school. And it's called high impact tutoring. I know the superintendent loves when I talk like this. And this is what it means, that your teachers are going to make sure that you have opportunities to meet with a trusted adult who can advance you in reading and math and other subjects, whatever you need, and have those meetings so you know when they're going to happen. They can happen before school, they can happen during school, or they can happen after school, to provide enrichment in areas that are specialized for each student. And so we know that the high impact tutoring, and because of the pandemic, one good thing, we got a lot of extra resources to address high impact tutoring. And we think that that's something that's going to help us recover and grow as a system. Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Amari Norris.
Hi,
I'm in
Amari.
8th grade at Blow Pierce. Knowing the challenges that POC face in education, what is the most paramount piece of evidence you would give us as African American children?
What is the what?
Paramount piece of evidence you would give us as African American children.
Knowing that, give me the first part of knowing that people of color, what was the first part of your question?
Knowing the challenges that POC face in education, what is the most paramount piece of evidence that you would give us as African American children?
Well, I think that we're all right to focus on our people of color in the city, and to make sure that when you come to school is one part of the equation, but how your family lives in the city is also very important. So really everything that we do in the city from our administration's point of view is making sure that every child, no matter where he or she lives in the city, has a fair opportunity to be and to live and to become and to use your talents and skills the best way you can. So we focus on a couple of things to make sure that you're ready once you get to school, and that's having safe and affordable housing. And so investing in safe and affordable housing helps your parents and you achieve better outcomes in school. It helps us be healthier people so that we can achieve better outcomes in school. And we've been very focused on making sure we're meeting our children where we are. Two things that we've been able to do in the last 7 years, for example, is to create a school just for girls. Create a school just for boys. Because the truth is we want our young girls to develop not only their academics, but their leadership skills that are going to allow them to be great leaders in the community and come back and serve Washington, D.C. So we're extremely focused on that. But we also want to hear from our young people. What's going to make you come to school, love to learn, be challenged, take on big opportunities that come your way? And then let me say one more thing that we know is important for our children of color. And that is important for all children. And that is to be exposed to college and career opportunities and be exposed to them early so that you know, starting right now, you may not know this, but 8th grade, right, Superintendent? It's an important year. You're starting to make decisions that will impact the rest of your lives. So we want your teachers and counselors to be setting up a plan for you for when you get out of the 12th grade. You was like, Mayor Bowser, why are you talking like that? I'm only in the 8th grade. Right? That's what you're thinking? But it's so important that you in the 8th grade, you're actually starting to make decisions that are going to affect your opportunities in the 12th grade. So having that college or career map set up for you in middle school that you're going to follow with your counselors all the way through is important. Last thing. One thing we've learned from COVID is that our students in the 12th grade, they've developed some independence. They've gotten jobs. They've been exposed to careers. And we are doubling down on what we learned about our 12th graders so that you're still getting your school credits, but you may also have an opportunity to get a job that we're going to support through our Department of Employment Services. So all of those things built up with what you're learning in school will have you ready to get either a good paying job or go on to college or post high school schooling, and so that you can raise your families right here in Washington, D.C. But thank you for those good questions. Thank you. Yes.
Hey, so this morning, Congresswoman Norton released that the U.S. Capitol Police have worked together with the D.C. government to share security alerts that are going on at the Capitol through Alert D.C. And I was wondering if you have, any comments on that or any thoughts for residents who maybe aren't signed up for Alert DC that now have this extra piece that could, keep them in the know.
Well, we always want people to be signed up for Alert DC, and quite a lot of people are. It's good that we can assist the Capitol Police in getting out information that may impact our residents. Some people, especially who aren't as familiar with DC, they think that the U.S. Capitol sits on an island or something, but it is actually very close to where people live. And things that happen at the Capitol, especially if it involves security parameters, affect how people come and go from their homes. So I think that's a very good thing, and we're grateful to the Congresswoman for facilitating any discussions. Thank you. Yes.